live in a place like this someday. Looks like I'm the first one here. That's it. I like being early. Well, if Will and I have free time, might as well get to practicing. Life is a highway, I wanna ride it all.
What is that positively dreadful noise? Make it stop at once.
Oh, sorry about that. I was practicing.
I don't care what you are doing. Just put that thing away. My ears don't deserve such torture.
Where am I in? I didn't get a chance to introduce myself. I'm Carl Pratt. What's your name?
Please, as if you don't already know.
I'm sorry. I don't. Should I?
I should have known. Clearly you aren't civilized enough to have heard of someone so cultured as myself. I am Blake Sands, son of Benedict Sands.
I see, and Benedict Sands is...
Are you serious? Never heard of the Benedict Sands? You're simpler than I thought. Well, plebeian, Benedict Sands is none other than the inventor of the computer mouse. A most genius invention, if I do say so myself. It's made my entire family rich beyond belief.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Well, if you're so rich and famous, what do you win the contest for?
I am simply not rich or famous enough. My father may have a genius invention, but I've got my own experiences. I've traveled abroad for boarding school. I've met hundreds of other famous people at my family's dinner parties. I've even vacationed once or twice in Cabo, and some of their stories could fill an entire book. My point is, hardly anyone knows my story. They all just know my father's. So when I win the contest, I'll be able to build my own legacy, and everyone will know who I am.
Do you mean if you win the contest?
Trust me, there's no if about it. Not that I care, but I might as well ask. What kind of story might someone like you have to tell?
Oh, believe me, I've got a story. I'm a country singer. Well, I will be a country singer. I've been training my whole life, and I'm right on the edge of fame. I can feel it. If I win the contest, the whole world would know my success story. That would be an inspiration for kids like me everywhere. And nobody would ever...
I stopped caring before you even answered. And you are?
Oh, you must cheer for the contest.
Thank you so much. Where would we be without your wit and intelligence? Now back to you, ruffian. Tell us your name.
What is a name? Is it a defining trait, a glimpse into who you are, or something less than that? Simply just a word, a title, a label. The society is so obsessed with labels.
Oh God, he's a poet. Not even a good one.
Don't mind him. Act unspeakable. My name is Carmen, and over there is Blake. What should we call you?
Lucian Davis.
Quite a pretentious name for a mediocre poet.
Consider you called me a ruffian a moment ago. I don't think you have any say on what's pretentious or not.
Okay, let's not get into any arguments. We don't even know each other. Tell me, Lucian, why aren't you in the contest?
Well, I've experienced some amount of tragedy in my life. Not so long ago I fell for someone. Harder than anyone has ever fallen for someone. And she rejected me. Despite my best efforts, she continues to turn me away. The object of my deepest affections wants nothing to do with me. My story is one of heartbreak and desolation. It should be published worldwide as a cautionary tale for any poor soul who wishes to confess their feelings of admiration as I have.
Ugh, gag me.
Oh my God! Bear Quantium! As a thief! Bear Quantium! My name's Cartwright, and you're absolutely fan. I looked up to you since I was little. You're my idol. You're the greatest that ever lived. I can't believe you're here.
Thank you, my dear. I'm flattered. It's always a pleasure to meet a fan.
My apologies, but who are you?
I beg your pardon. I find it hard to believe you've never heard of me. I was the single biggest performer back in my prime days.
Lucian, are you serious? Everybody knows this Mary Montague.
To be perfectly honest, I've never heard of her either.
Well then, it would do you two some good to learn a bit about real music. It was a time before you were born, you know. The world really doesn't revolve around you.
You're right. I'm sure I know nothing about real artistry. I've always wanted to make music like yours, and I know I have what it takes. I haven't made it big yet, that's exactly why I'm here. It would be so exciting for people everywhere if they could just hear my success story, especially if you will written by someone as important as Thaddeus Blackwell. If I just have both words like yours, I'd be able to die happily. Maybe I could. I don't know. Get some advice for you? I have no feeling of honor being your friend, and I have no right to ask you for anything, but it would be so incredible for me. You started out just like I did. We even grew up in the same town. Did you think we could just talk for a bit?
At least there's someone around here who has taste. I can tell you have ambition, young Carmen. That's very important to the young performer. But you have to remember, ambition isn't everything. It takes courage, confidence, and most importantly, talent. Perhaps you could give me a sample of your abilities?
Oh no! If it's anything like those horrible noises you were making earlier, I won't allow it.
Oh, pardon me. Is this the place you are being with us?
This is it. What's your name, dear?
Oh, how pleasure. I'm Luba. Who are we? Allow me. I'm Carmen, and this is Mayor Montague, but I'm sure you knew that. And over there is Flip and Lucian.
Charmed, I'm sure.
I wouldn't say that.
How wonderful. I really think it's awfully generous of Mr. Blackwell to confront us like this. I think it's amazing no matter who wins that they get their story. Would you agree? I agree. Not for discussion as well as you.
So what's got you so chipper? Noble, was it?
Yes, that's right. I'm just excited, that's all. I really think this is such a wonderful opportunity. Wouldn't you think that?
Something like that.
Alex? Alex! Oh, this is great! I didn't expect to see you here.
Lucian, you have got to be kidding me. Look, I don't know how you possibly could have known that I was going to be here, but you need to leave. This is a very big opportunity for me, and I won't have you ruin it.
No, I didn't know you'd be here. I promised. I'm here for my own story. Please, you gotta believe me, Alex.
Don't call me that.
Is anyone going to explain what's going on here? How do you two know each other?
This is the very object of my affections, the light of my life, the reason I get out of bed to face the day, and the muse for my art form.
Oh, young love.
That's quite enough of that. Lucian, I am more than capable of speaking for myself. My apologies, everyone. My etiquette seems to have escaped me. My name is Alex Martin, but I prefer to be called Martin. As for Lucian and I, we used to go to school together a couple years ago, and he's followed me around with his so-called love confessions ever since.
And I'll never stop, my dearest. Not until it kills me, or you find that you have no faith for one another. I'll never cease my love.
So he's the one, wait, you're the one that he was talking about earlier. And you both showed up today on plan? So the plot thickens.
The advertisement reads as follows. It has become apparent to me that the end of my life is nearing. However, in my old age, there is still one thing I have yet to accomplish. I have yet to capture the life of someone who is truly interesting. I could write a million fictional characters with fantastical lives, but the experiences of a real living person are unbeatable. Therefore, I am hosting a contest of sorts. The prize being an envelope created by yours truly. Anyone with a story to tell is implored to enter. That must be why you're all lurking in my sitting room, yes? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Thaddeus Blackwell.
Oh my God, it's him!
Thank you so much for having us. This is such a wonderful opportunity.
It is truly an honor, sir. I'm something to write myself, so I know firsthand just how amazing it
Who
is.
cares, Lucian? Mr. Blackwell, you'll have to excuse these people. They're a truly uncivilized bunch. You may not have the most grandeur home I've ever been in, but it's a pleasure to be here nonetheless.
Thank you all. Truly, your flattery means very little to me. In the context of this contest, while I do appreciate the praise, this is not about me. This is about you all.
Of course, my liege. I'm ever so apologetic. I should never hope to upset you again. Please continue.
Suck up.
Now then, firstly, I want to genuinely thank you all for coming here today. That any of you would take any time in your busy lives to humor an old man such as myself is wholeheartedly appreciated. Now then, I am sure you each have a story worth telling. And I never want to discourage anyone from following their passions. I am sure that each and every one of you is deserving of this biography. That being said, this contest can only have one winner.
Clearly, that's why we're here.
Young men, you really should work on your manners.
It's quite alright. I understand the excitement. As I was saying, this contest can only have one winner. I feel it would be unfair of me to listen to all of your stories and choose one based on my own personal view. That would only be catering to my own interests. So, in order to come up with an unbiased result, I have decided to leave the winner of this contest up to you all.
Mr. Blackwell, I must have misheard you. I thought you said you were leaving the winner of the contest up to us.
Oh, you haven't misheard me at all, my dear boy. That is exactly right. The winner of this contest will be up to you six. Now then, in order to avoid any further potential bias, I must leave you now. Discuss amongst yourselves who you believe to be the winner. And when one of you is eliminated, I ask you to leave. I will be back in exactly 2 hours. And whoever is left here shall be assumed winner. I wish you all the best of luck.
Now, wait a moment. This isn't what we signed up for. You can't possibly expect...
Those are the rules. You are all spectacular individuals, remember? I am sure you will have no trouble working it out.
What should we do now?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. You can all go. Clearly, I'm the only one here with an actual story to tell.
Oh, no, we don't. We all have a reason to be here, same as you. So we're all going to sit here and figure out who should win.
What a fantastic idea, Alex. You're absolutely right.
Shut up, Lucian.
Now then, I feel it's a completely fair way to do this. I've only just arrived, so I'm not quite figure out what everyone's motivations are. We can start by explaining that.
Fabulous idea. My name is Meredith Montague. Yes, the one you're thinking of. I wish to be the recipient of the biography to capture the glory of my days on stage, particularly my critically acclaimed performance at the Super Bowl. Oh, you all should have seen it. My standing ovation lasted for more than an hour. I was a real performer, not like all those phonies you see on TV nowadays. By the time I finished my big number, there wasn't a dry eye left in the house. You know, people see performers and think, I can do it better, or it can't be that hard. But they're wrong. Real performers have passion, talent, emotion, charisma. It takes hard work and ambition. Only the very best will make it to the top. That's why I deserve the prize. I have a story to tell that so few will ever experience. You young people have the rest of your life telling your stories. My prime is already gone. I've been retired for a few short years, but I really think the true glamour of my career wasn't properly appreciated. Young carpenters should follow a similar path, and to have that path documented.
That's right, although I'm sure I never looked you, Miss Montague.
Nonsense, dear. However, I haven't been able to hear exactly what you're capable of.
Absolutely not.
Alright, no reason to get upset. Like, what do you want to try this one?
So few people will ever know what it's like to live a life of luxury. And I happen to live such a life. Not that I think everyone deserves a lifestyle like mine, but I think the masses would get enjoyment out of reading about it. That, and people would understand my own personal legacy, rather than my father's. You see, I am the son of Benedict Sands, who happens to be...
Yes, we've heard already. Can we please move on?
What about you then? You haven't heard your tale yet.
Me? I'm surprised Lucian hasn't given it all away yet. I am a history professor at the college in the center of town. However, I started at the bottom of the food chain, in a town that no one has ever heard of with nothing to my name. I had to work incredibly hard to get where I'm at, and I believe it would be very inspiring for other young people from no-name towns to know that there is a way out. I'm thriving now in a way that I never thought I would.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
skip the dramatics and assume that Lucian wants the biography to capture some sort of lament about his infatuation with me.
That's exactly right, my darling. You always were so intelligent.
Oh, that's all wrong.
So that leaves you. What's your great story?
Oh, it's the most delightful thing. I made it with the herbs I have hanging in my kitchen. It's not all that complicated. It's just a recipe for happiness and joy. It requires a little thyme, sage, a little bit of celery, not a really consideration. Quite a few other things that I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But my pet would remember. He's always been better at remembering things than I have. So I'll name Steve, his name is. That's exactly what I want to have written about. I think that's all some other goes, and I think it can make you both a better place. I've got other recipes too. Would you like to hear about them?
Not in the slightest.
Well, that's everyone. How do we narrow it down from here?
I've got some homemade wine, and I've got glasses too. Actually, the top of the drinks is something I would have.
Sounds good to me. Pass that over, dear.
Not that I don't adore lounging about with you lot. We've been sitting here for an hour and haven't made any headway. I think we all know who deserves to win here. We're wasting time.
I beg your pardon, sir. We all believe we are worthy of the prize. You are not as special as you think.
How dare you?
Enough! Martin is right, and there's no reason to start fighting. I was hoping the wine might lose myself a bit and start to make actual progress, but suppose I was wrong. Does anyone else have any other ideas?
We can draw straws.
And the genius strikes again. Tell me, Carmen, do you see any straws around?
That's really not it either.
I've been trying to tell you all, there's an obvious winner here.
Give it up, Blake.
Look, Blake, not that we don't appreciate you, but I just wonder what value your experiences would have on general public. It just doesn't seem like you want to benefit from yourself.
Of course, because your made-up potions are so much better, I'm sure.
All right, I've had it. If you have nothing productive to say, I suggest you keep your mouth shut. We're all going to sit here and work this out. If you're going to cause issues, then you can leave right now.
What gives you the right to control this operation?
Don't question Alex. She's never done anything incorrect in her entire life, and she won't start today.
Firstly, stop calling me Alex. Secondly, as I said before, I can speak for myself.
What if we explain how our essays would be the most beneficial for everyone? We all know why we want our own details, but we haven't explained how it would benefit other people.
Not a bad idea. Who wants to start?
I'll begin. I believe that the biography should be given to me because without it, a number of poor souls who hold the affection of another could end up in a pit of sorrow like mine. It will serve as a warning, a caution, a tall tale to anyone who even
All
thinks
right,
of.
Lucian, that's enough. I think we all get the picture. Who's next?
I'll go. My biography would inspire the people of the world to follow their dreams, because one day they could end up like me. No one wants to take advice from a celebrity if they don't connect with them, so this contest would be just that, a way for the civilians to connect with me.
Mine is a similar motivation, except my biography would follow me to the same one day. It's meant to inspire the youth, and maybe even help those who are close to fame like me.
My intention is obvious, to inform the general public of the life they could be living. It would be for entertainment purposes, but I suppose one could use it as motivation to actually do something with their useless life.
I really want to help people. I possess knowledge that not everyone does, and I think it could make the world a better place.
That's a bit holier than thou.
All right. I also intend to motivate the public. My success story is unparalleled.
Well, considering the fact that most of our motivations are similar, I don't quite see what the point of that was.
I believe it would be in everyone's best interest to eliminate Blake. It just doesn't seem like he wants to benefit anyone other than himself.
I'd hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not going to happen.
It's useless, Nova. No matter what we say, he won't give up.
Does anyone have any other suggestions? I'm open to almost anything at this point. If you weren't aware, we're swiftly running out of time.
Miss Montague, I wonder if you combine our guards pieces as one. They're so similar to Dixon after all, and at least short enough to pick them.
Newsflash, Einstein. That can only be one winner. Thaddeus even said so. Just because you're here with your idol and whatever doesn't mean that you should have a better opportunity than the rest of us.
I was only trying to come up with solutions. Meredith, is what they call you, Meredith. What do you think?
My dear, I certainly see where you're coming from. It's a good idea, but I really think we're in two very different positions, and I just don't see how well our stories would go together. I've already had my stardom, and you're just starting yours. Besides, there's no guarantee you'll even make it out there. It's a tough business. I'd hate to lose my chance here because you couldn't do it. Your dreams are not necessarily impossible, just difficult to achieve.
Harsh words, Montague.
That's reality. A performer has to be ready for reality. She should be thanking me for teaching her this lesson now.
I fear the environment has gotten a bit more hostile than we intended. Let's not forget we're doing this contest for fun. Chance at a good opportunity.
Speak for yourself, forest dweller. I joined because I knew I would win. What I failed to take into account was the bumbling fools I would have to put up with to get there.
Oh, that's rich coming from you, Blake. All you've cared about this entire time is that you win, even though your idea is the most selfish of them all.
I hardly think that's appropriate. All of our reasons are completely self-absorbed. I'm just the only one able to admit it. Martin thinks she's better than everyone, and Meredith thinks she's the greatest performer alive, when no one's even heard of her. Carmen is just like Meredith, except she's genuinely the worst musician I've ever heard. Nova refuses to admit her potions are useless. And you, Lucian, the most selfish out of all of us. Your entire biography would only be about your own self-pity. I'm the only one here with an actual story to tell, so you all better just leave now.
How dare you! What
Well. So lovely to see you all again. But I can't help but notice that since I was here last, not one single person has been eliminated.
Mr. Blackwell, I'm very sorry, but there's no possible way to work out any fair agreement with these people.
Maybe we've been able to work something out with Blake. We're messing everything up.
I am far from being the problem here. This entire evening has been a conspiracy against me.
Oh, you wish.
All right, that's quite enough. Goodness. I had hoped that you'd all be able to contain yourselves within a pack of small children. Apparently, I was wrong.
I'm sure we're all very sorry. This was such a great opportunity for us, and we were unable to appreciate that. I'm very sorry.
I am too.
And I.
Yes, extraordinarily sorry.
It was childish, darn it.
I'm not really sorry.
I appreciate the expressions of grief. However, there's something I must confess myself before we continue any farther. There was never a biography contest in the first place.
I beg your pardon?
It was all a ruse. I knew when I placed the ad in the paper that the only people who would show up would believe themselves to be significantly more special than everybody else. It was an experiment of sorts. I wanted to see what would happen if I placed several of these people and pitted them against each other for title of most special. I never wanted to write about any of your stories. I really wanted to write about what would happen if you thought I did.
So you don't actually want to write about our experiences?
No.
This is preposterous. How do you think you can get away with tricking us like this?
Oh, pipe down, young Blake.
Publish it was.
Well, what do you mean?
Ah, I nearly forgot the best part. I've been recording the little antics the entire time. These recordings, combined with copious note-taking I've been doing over the course of the evening, should provide as the perfect source material for my next novel.
Just how do you think you can get away with recording us without our permission?
I will give you all due credit for participating in this experiment for me.
I hardly think that's adequate reimbursement for the torture we would put through this evening.
Agreed. And worth far more than some meager acknowledgement on the back of some old crook's book.
Blake, we've all had to put up with your childish behavior for far too long, but that is blatantly disrespectful.
Alex is right. You're nothing but a pompous git.
Lucian, I swear to God, you are no better than he is at this rate.
I appreciate the expressions of greeting. However, it is fine. I hope you all understand how anticipating this novel of mine is. All my admirers know that I haven't got much time left. This may very well be the last thing I ever publish. My fans across the entire world will be waiting for my last hurrah, and this is it. I assure you, it'll be more than some puny recognition.
Really, doesn't sound too bad to me.
It's no Super Bowl, but I suppose we'll have to do.
I think not. You really think we believe all that? You can't fool me with your nonsense. No one's ever gotten famous from a book before. This is a waste of time.
You are more than welcome to leave, Slade.
Well, then I'll see myself out. You'll rue the day you tried to mess with Blake's hands. The world is gonna know my name, no thanks to you, sir. One day, you'll realize what a mistake it was to underestimate me. You'll be sorry. You'll all be sorry.
I mean, if Run managed to eliminate someone.
Mr. Blackwell.
Please, enough with the formalities. It's Thaddeus. That goes for all of you.
Very well. Bad news. If Blake doesn't want to be associated with the novel, how are we going to publish it? As much as I hate to admit it, he was a major part of this process, particularly the problematic bits.
Not to worry. I will simply change his name. A tweak or few in the details, and no one can notice he's not credited. Besides, this book will be based off the events of this evening. No one will mind if I embellish it a bit. Before we continue any farther, is there anybody else who does not wish to be associated with this novel? Excellent. I want to thank you all again for participating in this experiment for me. Even if I wasn't exactly what you were expecting, I hope you can all find the value of a situation like this. Perhaps you can learn something from it.
It's no trouble at all, Thaddeus. I'm pleased to help in any way that I can.
Excellent. Well then, as much as I love talking to you all, it is getting rather late. I am still an old man, you know. I can't keep up quite as well as I used to. Feel free to see yourselves out. There is a phone in the lobby next door if you need to call yourselves a cab. My assistant will contact you shortly with any details concerning the novel. It was a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you for providing me with one last story to tell.
The pleasure was all ours, sir. Have a good night.
You all as well.
This is a wonderful experience. It's really a pleasure working with you all.
Are you always this chipper?
Usually, yes. You'll get used to it. Perhaps you would benefit somewhere else in the presence of the job.
I hate to admit it, but somehow I think we could all benefit from that. It's worth a try, at least.
Splendid. I'll bring some next time we meet together. This is going to be so much fun.
She might be good for us, actually. At least with her around, she won't let us end up like Blake.
No, you may be right.
So, Alex, what are you doing after this?
Lucian, I am going home. And don't you dare even think about following me. It's a miracle I even lasted this long with you. cobbled together, but it doesn't mean I can tolerate you any better.
I'm sorry, Martin. I won't bother you anymore. Somehow I'll find a way to manage. It's clear to me now that after all we went through tonight, there's just no way we can make this work. I'll leave you alone this time. I mean it.
Lucian, wait!
Yes?
I guess it couldn't hurt to go someplace and talk for a while.
Finally! I thought you would never see a reason.
Do you mean it? I don't want you to feel forced.
I mean it. This doesn't mean anything right away, and it doesn't mean I forgive you for the creepy behavior you put me through the last few years, but I've never given you the benefit of the doubt.
I understand. I won't waste opportunity. I promise.
You know what? I believe you. Come on, I'll give you a ride home.
And then there were two. So, what do you think about finally giving me a taste of that music of yours?
Actually, I think I'm just gonna go home.
What do you mean? You've been trying to show me all evening. Now Blake's finally gone and you have your chance. What's stopping you now?
Well, you said that ambition is very important for a performer, and I think you're right. But I also think that honesty might be even more important. If I'm honest, you're not really the person I thought you would be. My whole life I want to be just like you. But now that I've actually met you, I'm not so sure about that anymore. If being just like you means being hungry for the spotlight and wanting everything to be about you all the time and putting your fans down and all they want with a little encouragement, then no, I don't want to be like you.
Well, I never! Just when I was starting to think there was some good in your generation, you had to go and say something like that. Honestly, the disrespect
That
that
goes both ways, Meredith. If you'll excuse me, I have to get going home. I have lots to think about.
Carmen, wait! I can't afford to lose another fan. Carmen!
What are you all still doing here? I thought I told everybody to leave. It is far past my bedtime. Well, what, do you want to listen to all their stories again? Hear what happened next? Well, I suppose I could tell you. I did publish a book, and I called it The Contest. As I predicted, it was a roaring success. My fans across the entire nation were ecstatic to read about it. After an almost nauseating amount of interviews, my little group of subjects did so get the fame they were all looking for. Except for Blake, of course. I don't believe anybody ever heard from him again. Not that anyone minded. Meredith wanted to chase the recognition for as long as she possibly could. But I don't believe she will ever be satisfied. Old habits die hard, I suppose. Common Price used the money they got from the novel and bought themselves some singing lessons. They are now a world-famous country artists, and we will be selling copies of their latest album in the lobby. After some very long talks and establishing some ground rules, Lucian embarked himself into a quiet life. And I believe they are still together to this day. Nova now owns a small chain of apothecary shops selling her elixirs. She's doing rather well. We're selling those in the lobby as well. As for myself, I accomplished my life's dream and now await my fate. However, I am not sad, for I leave this world with a story, one I believe to be the best thing I've ever written. As I've said before, the experiences of a real, living person are unbeatable.